All right, let's dive right into this. In this whole new AI-first world we're living in, every single company is staring down one of the most critical choices of our time. Should we build our own AI from scratch or just buy it off the shelf? And let me tell you, this isn't just some tech question. It's a decision that's literally going to shape your company's future.
And yeah, the stakes are incredibly high. This quote right here, it just frames the whole thing perfectly. If you get this right, you build this amazing, powerful advantage that your competitors just can't copy. But if you get it wrong, you're stuck with massive costs and some serious strategic problems. You're basically deciding whether you want to own your own destiny or just, rent it from somebody else.
So, when you boil it all down, you've got two main paths. Path 1 is just integrating with an API, plugging into a service that's already out there. It's fast, it's convenient. Path 2 is the custom build, where you're making something brand new. This path is all about creating a defense, a moat, and keeping total control. The trade-off is pretty obvious. Are you going for short-term speed or long-term advantage?
Now, this whole decision leads us straight into the biggest headache for leaders today, falling into what we call the generic AI trap. This is what happens when you lean just a little too hard on those easy off-the-shelf tools. And trust me, it can quietly torpedo your business.
I mean, think about it for a second. Literally anyone, and I mean your biggest competitors, can go sign up for ChatGPT or Jasper. They can generate marketing copy, write emails, the whole shebang. And that's fantastic for getting things done. But if that tool is the secret sauce for your product, well, then your secret's out. You don't have a secret, you just have a subscription and absolutely no defense in the market.
And the risks here? Oh, they are very, very real. You've got subscription costs that can just balloon out of nowhere. You're facing huge data privacy risks because you're sending your sensitive info to someone else. Your competition is using the exact same playbook, which means you have no edge. You're not building a moat around your business, you're just paying for a shovel. In a lot of ways, it's just a strategic surrender.
So how do you actually avoid this trap? How do you make the right call? Well, the solution is a really clear, straightforward framework. We can break it down into 3 pillars: core, context, and control. Let's walk through it.
You just need to ask yourself 3 simple questions for any AI project you're thinking about. First, is this thing core to what my business does? Second, do I have the special context, the unique data to make it one of a kind? And third, do I absolutely need to have total control over the whole system?
Okay, let's start with core. If the AI is just supporting a task, you should probably just buy it. A perfect example is a chatbot for customer support that speaks a few languages. Super helpful, adds a ton of efficiency, but it's not your entire business. But if the AI is the product, like a high-speed trading algorithm for a finance company, then you build. Your whole business depends on how good that model is.
Next up, pillar 2, context. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Because even if an AI feature is core to your business, you should only build it if you have unique data, your secret sauce. If you're just going to train your model on the same public stuff that everyone else is using, you're just building a worse, more expensive version of something that's already out there. It's your unique data that gives you a reason to build.
And finally, control. Buying a solution usually means you're on a public cloud, and that's fine. It's a shared security setup. For most companies, that works. But if you're in a field like healthcare with super sensitive patient data, or maybe you're dealing with top secret IP, you need absolute, total control. In that case, building is really your only option.
Okay, so that's the theory. Now let's talk about how this stuff actually plays out in the real world. What do these different approaches really look like day to day? Your buy stack is all about making things run smoother. We're talking about tools like Zapier to automate workflows, Notion AI to help manage projects, Otter AI for meeting notes. It's about making your team faster. The build stack? That's for the really high-stakes core stuff. Here, you're looking at powerful backend frameworks like Django or Node.js to plug in your own custom models, probably running on a private cloud so you can control everything.
And this slide right here is brilliant because it shows that it's almost never an all-or-nothing game. Most smart companies end up with a hybrid model. Take a manufacturing company, for example. For something like HR management, they're absolutely going to buy a standard software tool. But for something at the heart of their business, like checking product quality on the assembly line in real time, they are going to build a custom AI vision system trained on their own products. That's where they get their edge.
So if you remember one thing, remember this: buy for the office, build for the edge. Use those off-the-shelf tools to make your internal operations run better. That's the office. But when it comes to what makes you unique, your competitive edge, that's where you invest and that's where you build.
All right, even with a great framework, it is so easy to make some really expensive mistakes. So let's just quickly run through a few common traps to look out for, no matter which path you choose. First off, if you decide to build, you have got to understand the maintenance burden. This is not a one-and-done deal. Your AI model needs constant watching, regular checks to make sure it's not going off the rails, and you have to be on top of security updates. It's an ongoing, expensive commitment.
Now, on the buy side of things, you've got to watch out for scalability shock. You know those pay-as-you-go APIs? They seem pretty cheap to start, but what happens if your app suddenly takes off? All of a sudden, that small bill can explode, and sometimes it ends up costing you way more than if you had just built it yourself. You have to plan for what happens when you win.
And pitfall number 3, this one is so important, the skills gap. Please do not try to build a custom AI solution if you don't have the right team. A poorly made internal tool can be way more dangerous than a public one, creating hidden problems and security risks. You need a rock-solid team of developers and data scientists to pull it off.
I love this quote because it just says it all. Deciding to build isn't just a project with a start and a finish line. It's a marriage. It's this long-term relationship that needs constant investment, attention, and work. It becomes part of who you are as a company.
So to wrap this all up, let's boil it all down into a simple checklist you can actually use to guide your own AI strategy. Here are the big takeaways. Number 1, buy for the stuff that isn't core to your business. Maximize your speed and efficiency. Don't try to reinvent the wheel for HR software. Number 2, build only when you have that unique, proprietary data that gives you a real competitive advantage that lasts. And finally, number 3, audit your decisions all the time. The right choice to buy today might need to become a build project next year as your company grows and your data becomes more and more valuable.
So I'll leave you with this question. You've got the framework now: core, context, and control. Take a hard look at your own company, your own team. Where is that next big AI decision waiting for you? And is it a build or is it a buy?